Hello, hello. Good morning, everyone. This is Kenneth from Shell Hong Kong. I'm representing head of e-mobility in Hong Kong. So basically, I'm responsible for the e-mobility business in Hong Kong. But today, I have the opportunity to share all of you that how Shell Global is doing in terms of the e-mobility business. So first of all, before we jump into e-mobility, I would like to share that a quick grasp of concept why we are doing the ESG, why we are doing the net zero emissions. Because I think everyone knows that there is a very, very strong wish that we are going to a sustainable future for everyone. So that's why different countries, corporations is doing all kinds of activities, regulations, just to ensure that the carbon emissions is going to a net zero emissions. So Shell noticed this is one of the biggest issues in upcoming 50 years. So we are already taking lead in terms of the energy transitions. So energy transition is not only talking about the energy used in the factories, but it also applies to every area that we are using. For example, on the right-hand side is the mobility, no matter it's a personal side or the commercial side. We also take the aviations as well as the marine energy as our responsibility. And lastly is the commercial sector with the factories as well as the industrial buildings. So, but in terms of the energy solutions, before we are only talking about the fossil fuels, but with the needs for ESG, the decarbonizations, we are getting more and more new energies ahead. And electricity is for sure the first to be explored and focused. I think similar trend is being can be found in the car OEM business, because when you see from the market, Tesla is everywhere, right? When you're traveling around airport to these little sites, I think Tesla is always on the road. Coming next is the European brand BMW as well as the Mercedes-Benz. And even the giant Toyota is also coming to the end. I think mobility, e-mobility especially, is going to all kinds of OEM. They are committed to change their traditional energy into e-mobility. And understanding the needs from the customers, from the OEM, as well as from different corporations, we have globally committed to build a lot of public charging network. So right now, as per today, we have more than 40K EV charging, public charging points already on the road. But at the same time, we are expecting there are more than 200K by the end of 2030. So it's a huge commitment that everyone can be seen from the public. I'd like to show a quick videos on what we are doing right now and what solutions we can do. So just a moment, maybe some issues. But while we are settling the technical issues, we can come back later with the videos. But I would like to show you that in the upcoming world, how the e-mobility is going to evolve. So first of all, we have to smell the market. So what the customer need. And from the customer research we have in Europe, we actually spend times and resources into 6 European countries, Belgium, France, Germany, etc. And one of the best findings is that unlike from our traditional ICE cars world, basically what we see here is the customers prefer the destination charging. So we don't have any destination refueling before. Because when you're doing refueling, you always find gas stations on the road. And then you go back home or you go back to your office. But today, customers with EV, they are totally different. They are looking for destinations where they could go to office, go to home for sure, but they could also go to the school, go to hospital, go to clubhouse, etc. Meanwhile, they are doing their own grocery shoppings or restaurant, eating their food. They are able to charge their car in parallel. And this is one of the key findings that we have. More than 50% prefer to go in this way. And once they identify these destinations, it's somewhere they can hinge to and the experience is good, they don't mind to frequently visit the same stations or same destinations again and again. So you can see a 57% across the countries. And the second insight we find is that the customers consider both price and network coverage are equally important. So price, for sure, there's no surprise because everyone concerned on money. But the second point, which is having a wider network coverage, is to our surprise. Because usually in our fossil fuels world, the locations of the gas stations near to office and the home is one of the critical paths. But right now, it's not talking about whether it's near your home or not. It's a wider network. So it's simply another implication that whenever they need any destination, no matter it's for schools, hospitals, or any visits at the shopping malls, that's something they need far more than they need than before. And the third insight we can see is customers will prefer multiple charging solutions. So unlike before, they may have stick to one single brand. Right now, 16% of them will consider only one brand. But more than 80% of them will say, I would like to apply for more than one charging solutions provider. The major reason is that it's very consistent with what we see before, which is they need a higher network. They need much more charge points than before in order to fulfill their daily needs because their daily needs is different. And we also do some kinds of qualitative research with the customers, how the future stations should look like. So you can see, unlike the traditional red and yellow stations that we are having, we are building in a more sustainable way. And not only the EV charging stations is available there, but we also provide the ancillary service for the customers, like the drinks, the foods, the grocery shoppings, etc. And here is the real product as per today. So the rendering is no longer rendering, and now is the real case scenario in the UK. So if you have a chance to visit Fulham in UK, then you will see these iconic stations with all of the happy customers inside. Another iconic project that we are having is just nearby us. It's the Shenzhen Bao'an Airport. We have one of the biggest Shell recharge sites in the world. So we are having 258 charge points. All of them are actually fast charges. And they are serving around 3,300 customers per day. So it's a huge customer's footfall. So for all of the cars here, they are not, they have the real customers. They have the real needs from morning, from noon, from afternoon to midnight. All those of different kinds of customers coming here, similar to the concept of the UK Fulham sites. They come here maybe for food, at the same time for the charging. And back to Hong Kong, where I'm focusing on, we also have several milestones. I would say we have achieved very surprising results that within the 2 years, we are one of the largest universal fast charging network in Hong Kong right now. By the end of this year, we hope we have 50 sites with 500 charge points as well. In different scenario of chargings, like on the go, we have in the shopping malls with the destinations. We are having all kinds of coverage right now. And we are very proud to say that we have the first and the only EV charging stations on the go right now. So if you have time, travel around the airport, so the station is just nearby. And we are also having the first fastest 300 kilowatt chargers in Hong Kong. So we understand the needs of fast charging in Hong Kong, especially for the B2B customers. They need fast and timely charging. So that's why we have the one in Tsim Sha Tsui. And lastly, we also have more coverage to the B2B customers, because in Hong Kong we have a very strong roadmap on the B2C customers on the private cars, but B2B we are still on the go, unlike China. So that's why we understand that it's a needs moving on. We are trying to tap into this segment for the depot charging as well. When we have all kinds of customers' insights, we have all kinds of achievement as well, but we also want to share the story in these 2 years. We have a lot of challenges. So the top left is the power and space availability, which is always true for different countries and regions. So in terms of the power, it could be the whether the building itself is having enough power to supply. So we are competing with the restaurants, we are competing with the residents, we are competing with all kinds of lighting sources, etc. So the power itself is one of the critical elements for us to have a very successful EV charging stations. And the second is the space. We have the very limited car park space in Hong Kong. So especially for the car park for the truck, whether they can compete with the private car, this is one thing. Another thing is whether we have enough car park, public car park for those customers who don't have a home charging solutions. And on the right-hand side is the vehicle compatibility. So Hong Kong is a little bit better because we are more confirmed to be more on a European or US standard on the charging compatibility. But before, 10 years before, we are having different kinds of standard. We have China GB standard. We have Japanese CHAdeMO standard. We also have the European CCS standard as well. So for different countries, the compatibility has to be solved before it could be popularized among the region. The third one is the operation efficiency. It's all about how the landlord will treat the customers. So even Hong Kong right now, we have 10% of the car is EV, but we do see there's a difficulty on trying to balance the needs of ICE cars as well as the existing EV cars. So imagine two situations. One is there's ICE cars do not have any parking space, but there is an empty space at the charging space. So how you would allow this kind of ICE cars customers to park within the car park. So this is one. And the second one is some of the customers, when they are finished their EV charging, then they will stuck there, they forget to get their car, and this also block the usage of the next EV drivers who is waiting in the line. And the last one is the solution compatibility. So we are not only talking about the car itself, we are not only talking about the charger itself, but we are talking about the total solutions. When we are ensuring everything is compatible, just like your iPhone, you have to ensure your iPhone, your earphone, everything has to be compatible. So every software, they have their own progress of evolvement. So how we can ensure all kinds of compatibility to be sustainable and stable across the time, that's the key. And the next is about the opportunities that we haven't untapped. So in sync with what we have discussed just now, basically what we need is how we can provide more public charging spots for the customers or even private spots. So whenever you are able to understand the needs from the customers, then you will be able to find out the opportunities. So imagine you are McDonald's, can you find out outside the McDonald's car parks, and then you are able to provide the charging solutions? Maybe unlike the previous thinking that McDonald's is only serving for fast food customers, but if you have the charging, can it be a family visit to these restaurants with more spending and longer with a dessert as well? So this could be another type of angle you have to think about. If you are the garage owner, can you also install the chargers within your garage, trying to give the service of car wash, car care at the same time with the charging? So creating the differentiate for the customers such that they have the reason to come here first and then come more often later. And we also see that the EV drivers are always demanding, not only about the pricing, but they also thinking about the experience itself. But in the market, especially for the Europe, they have a lot of solutions available. There is no single dominator in the market that provides a massive network, but with a lot of networks available, that means the customer needs to install a lot of applications. There are too many cars for them. So in terms of the opportunity, whether there is any collaboration between all kinds of networks together to provide a single solution to the customers will be the key. And the last opportunity we spot is that from all kinds of studies regarding whether the customers would like to prefer. So there's a name called smart charging. It's all about how we can leverage maybe the timing of the charging or the behavior of the charging just to ensure everyone have the right timing to charge and to avoid the peak loading of the electricity demand during the daytime. So this is something that European customers is really looking at as in a sustainable world. They are not only talking about themselves, but they are trying to think of how to use the shared public space or even the energy together. And in the last slide, I would like to share one of the images that I searched in Google. So it's a German award design in 2018. So they are trying to develop a future stations, Shell station, I would say. And if you are bright enough to see, there's a little green dot in the middle, which is resembles the EV charging solutions. But for the rest, it's the traditional fuels. So at the time of 2018, we don't expect that the EV will run so fast as per today. But I would like all of you to think of the future is here already. So the EV charging or the e-mobility is actually changing. So you have the right, you have all of the responsibility to partner together to change this world together. Okay, thank you. Let me try again. Let's see the video is okay as a conclusion.
The way we use energy is changing. There's a growing demand for cleaner transportation. Today, we're supporting our partners in their switch to e-mobility by empowering them to electrify their fleets. We're working to accelerate the energy transition by providing our technology and services to manufacturers and EV drivers. We offer smart charging at scale, enabling access to growing charging networks across 38 countries and 2 continents. Our charging infrastructure and expertise ensures a seamless charging experience for drivers, customers, and visitors to support the increasing charging need at work, on the go, and at home. Welcome to our electric future together.
Okay, thank you everyone.